This is Ben Television. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debate by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. Hello, good evening. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi and you're welcome to Ben TV, broadcasting live from the UK. Today is about Ekiti State. But first, let me just quickly pass you on to Ngozi Gale, because I want us to get this news away as quick as possible so that we can have Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State, a pre-recorded interview, and live from Ekiti, Nigeria, we're going to have Comrade, they call him, Comrade Bamidele Opeyemi, who is the Labour candidate for the next coming election. Straight to Ngozi. Ngozi, what do we have now?
Thank you, Kaide. Yes, I'm going to start with the football from yesterday, where Nigeria, of course, scored 2-2 with Scotland at Fulham Football Ground, that's Craven Cottage. Some people are saying that they did not really enjoy the football because they don't think it was exciting. For me, I think it was, and I think well done to Super Eagles for at least getting a 2-2. Moving on to some serious stuff. So we're having news that 4 Nigerian girls, of part of the girls that have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, 4 of them have escaped. This was one of the ministers, the Nigerian Minister of Information, officially confirmed that to the NBC News. However, he hasn't given any more details or additional details about their escape, except to say that they've been united with their families. So we'll pray for them and we'll pray for their safe recovery as well. Moving on, Cameroon apparently has deployed over 1,000 troops to its border with Nigeria. This is following Boko Haram launching a major attack on the town of Gambaru, which is on the border of Cameroon with Nigeria and Cameroon earlier this month, and killed 375 people. So Cameroon are now saying that they're deploying these troops and that they're going to mount reconnaissance missions and return fire if necessary. I'm going to stop it right there because Kaide is desperate to get on with the show, and of course I'm going to see you here next week. Oh, by the way, don't forget, before I go, don't forget that we are of course going to be tweeting and talking about your text messages, so please text us your what do you call it, Kaide? I've lost my momentum now. Text us your comments, thank you, is what I'm looking for. Text us your comments, tweet it to us, email us, or even call us. Information will follow very, very soon. And talk to myself or Kaide. At some point I'm going to be reading them out to you. In the meantime, I'm passing you back over to Kaide. I'm going to see you here next week. Enjoy the rest of the show. Goodbye for now.
Yeah, thank you, Ngozi. Well, Ekiti State was created on the 1st of October 1996 alongside 5 other states by the late Nigerian dictator General Sani Abacha. And even though General Abacha is seen as a dictator, but Ekiti is a creation of late General Abacha. June 21st, 2014 will be another turning point for the people of Ekiti State. On that day, they're going to go to the polls to either re-elect the present governor, Kayode Fayemi, of the APC, that's the ruling party in Ekiti State now, or they choose either Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele of the Labour Party or former Governor Ayo Fayose of the PDP. Now, Governor Fayemi was the one who reclaimed his mandate after 3 years in court and became the governor. Now, the jury is out. The people of Ekiti needs to decide, is this going to be the first true test of his acceptability to the people of Ekiti State? Or is Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele or Ayo Fayose going to take the mantle of leadership? Well, the thing on this program is that we contacted Governor Fayemi, Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele, and Ayo Fayose, and we've invited them into this program so that we can have fairness and balance on politics with KO. The good thing is, Governor Fayemi had a pre-recorded interview with us. Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele gladly honored our invitation, and we want to thank him for that. He's going to join us from Ekiti tonight because he's taking time away from his busy schedule in campaigns. Ayo Fayose said, thanks, but no, I'm not taking part in any TV interview. And this is not the first interview he's going to turn down. He's turned down a joint debate for the candidates. Ayo Fayose is saying he's not going to take part in any platform that will put him together with the other two candidates. So we want to say thank you to Governor Fayemi and Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele. Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele is online in the UK, in Ekiti, and he's going to watch Governor Fayemi in this pre-recorded interview. We're going to have the interview for 10 minutes, and when we come back, we'll give an opportunity for Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele of the Labour Party to have a say on what Governor Fayemi is saying about Ekiti. Then we'll also have the concluding 10 minutes, and then have him give us a feedback. So let's have Governor Fayemi, the executive governor of Ekiti State, make his case for the people of Ekiti. Is he worthy of re-election? I had this interview right in Ado Ekiti. Stay back and watch, and when we come back, we're going to have Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele.
Starting off then, if you go right on top of the hill, you can see that the government house is being roofed. The Warm Spring Resort is fully operational now. The moribund Erie bricks factory is now ready to roll. The quarries in Igbemo has gone into joint venture partnership with Chinese quarry operators. And that's beside all those roads you saw. If you recall, when you came, Ekiti was really difficult in terms of road network.
Someone described it as a post-conflict, that it looked more like a post-conflict town.
Well, you could say that. It looked very much like a post-conflict zone. It's like going to Freetown after the peace accord, or going to Jaffna in Sri Lanka in the immediate aftermath of the decimation of the Tamils process. What happened here was clearly a remarkable improvement on what it used to be. Everybody who came to Ekiti pre-October 2010 and who's been to Ekiti 2-3 years after, they've just simply marveled at the sheer level of road network improvement. We've connected most communities. We've either constructed or reconstructed or rehabilitated 754 kilometers of road. And that's beside the roads that have sprung up in communities where we have the 5 kilometer per year initiative. So virtually every community you go into in Ekiti now has a brand new asphalted road.
It's not like, because one of the things I observe in the country is governors concentrate on the state capitals and neglect the neighboring areas. So
not at all. This is one place where you go to, and I have just completed a tour, for example, a tour of the 132 communities across the length and breadth of Ekiti. And in those visits, I commissioned 75 projects in different communities. And projects ranging their own self-help projects. Well, we have what is akin to almost a community government here. We decided, in addition to every other thing we're doing at the state level, at the local government level, that communities also have a right to take ownership of their own developmental initiatives and decide on projects that are of priority to them. Government then fund that, not do the project. We fund the town's unions and leave it to them to implement those projects that they've identified themselves. These are self-help projects chosen by the communities, implemented by the communities, monitored by the communities, and owned by the community.
If you're going into a lot of capital projects, and correct me if I'm wrong, it is about the second poorest state in the country.
Well, if you're looking at poor in terms of Naira and Kobo, material poor, yes, you're right. we are the second to the lowest on the Federation revenue ladder, Federation account revenue ladder. But when you have planned and you're prudent and you're innovative, you can always manage with even the little you have.
So it's not like you're indebting generations yet unborn with loans and...
No. That allegation has even come. For example, we went to the capital market. In 2011, when you came, we have just been to the capital market and borrowed 20 billion naira. But the interesting thing about that was since that December 2011, we pay 400 million every month. If you calculate 400 million every month, that is 4 billion every 10 months.
So that covers the loan to an extent.
Pretty much.
One interesting thing I would want to acknowledge is your program on social welfare scheme.
The social scheme, yes.
The social scheme. I think it's on the elderly.
That's on the elderly.
On the elderly.
Where we have that specifically on the elderly.
Yeah.
Well, I have no apologies about coming from a progressive, ideological, social-democratic wing of politics. I do not believe that politics should be driven by a survival of the fittest agenda. No. I do think social Darwinism will destroy all of us if we pursue the end justifies the means politics. So how does to that extent, we have a focus on ensuring that we empower the vulnerable and the weak. And one of the most neglected segments of the vulnerable in our country today, which used to benefit from the old extended family system that has now crumpled, is the elderly. They're left literally abandoned, not catered for, not assisted in any way. And what we decided to do was to just pay what we consider a decent living wage for them. It's not a lot of money. We pay 5,000 naira per elderly. So if you have 2 elderly in a family, mother, father, they'll get 10,000 naira.
So what's the age range?
The age range is 65.
And above.
65 years and above. But it's also not all the 65-year-old and above that we pay. We have a mechanism for assessing who qualifies for this. First, you must not be on our pension scheme. And the only way you get on the pension scheme is that you're retired. So you have a certain level of decent livelihood in order to retire from an establishment. So we don't concentrate on those. We also don't give it to people who we know have children in a position to cater for them. My mother, for example, when she was alive, was not entitled. Most of my officials cannot justify payment of this to their fathers and mothers. So we narrow it down that way. So it really goes to the poorest of the poor. And it's not just a monetary component. We also have a food bank that supplies food to the elderly who cannot really cook for themselves.
How do you gauge someone who is an Ekiti indigene or non-Ekiti indigene to benefit from this scheme? As in people from outside Ekiti who are elderly, if they're resident there, will be entitled to?
We don't have a discriminatory approach to policy because this is a scheme that is backed by law. We have a social security benefits scheme law. And what that does is define the criteria for qualification. To qualify, you only needed to have lived in Ekiti for 3 years as a resident.
You were a human rights campaigner before coming into government. The Freedom of Information Act is one important campaign that has been going on for quite a while.
That I was part of.
Yeah, you were part of that campaign. Now, in Ekiti State, has it been domesticated?
Ekiti is the only state, as a matter of fact, in the entire federation that has domesticated the Freedom of Information Law.
So if I apply,
No other
if I
state.
apply for information, I want to know what Governor Fayemi had for dinner last night, or I'm just
Yeah, I know you're just.
you know, as in, if I want very important information about government agencies in Ekiti State, is that possible to get without any
It
invitation?
is possible. In fact, without even asking, you can get. Our website is rated as the #1 state website in the entire country. And this is partly because it's very interactive. You can access information. Our state budget is there. We have all the state laws. We have procurement contracts all loaded on our website. So, but if you're not satisfied with what you even get there, you want more details, you only need to apply.
So are you confident that Governor Fayemi had done well enough? You know, just take yourself outside. Just say, okay, can you confidently say, I have done well enough for my people to deserve to be re-elected as governor?
Well, there's no question that I, without being immodest, have done considerably well in terms of the promise I made to Ekiti people. And the task I give people is
Well, you're welcome back to Politics with KO. That was Governor Kayode Fayemi, the Executive Governor of Ekiti State. And we have live from Ekiti State, Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele from the Labour Party. He's the one who is going in to take Governor Fayemi's seat. He's seeking the mandate of his people, and he feels he's got a better option. We want to hear from him what he's got for the Ekiti people and his reaction to Governor Fayemi's interview that we had with him. We're going to spend the next 10 minutes with him, then we get to hear the last final 10 minutes of Governor Fayemi's interview, where he made serious allegations, really, concerning other contestants. So we just want to be fair and balanced. Good evening, Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele.
Good evening, Kayode. God bless you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. First, let me say thank you for accepting to come on this program. It's actually a display of a true Democrat. Your other contestant, Ayo Fayose, declined. He's not going to take part in any TV program that would put him on the same spot with yourself or the governor. How would you react to that, first and foremost?
I want to say that in fairness to Chief Ayo Fayose, really, he's entitled to his own opinion. If he has chosen not to take part in any debate, he must have his reasons for doing that. I know a lot has been happening in Ekiti, and he will take the grace of God. He will take sheer commitment to a certain level of idealism and commitment to democratic principles for anyone to even still want to participate in a debate at this point, because part of what we have been witnessing in Ekiti is a kind of tyranny of incumbency. It is obvious that a lot of people who are principal functionaries of the government of His Excellency Dr. Kayode Fayemi definitely see it as an affront that some of us are aspiring to be governor at a time that a sitting governor is asking for a second term in office. So some of them carry themselves in a way that would suggest that what they actually want is second term has gone on. And this is giving a lot of people a lot of concern. So I won't be surprised if that was one of the reasons Chief Ayo Fayose decided he wasn't going to participate. I wouldn't do that, but if he had chosen to do that, well, I really cannot hold it against it.
Okay, first, let me ask you this. What your reaction, you saw the first 10 minutes clip. What are your reaction to specific issues raised by the governor? He's given quite a number of stuff, he's done quite a number of stuff. He's touched some road, he's constructed new roads, like he did say. There is a welfare scheme for the old and elderly. You did listen to that interview. What are your reactions?
Well, I listened to His Excellency, my brother, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, our governor in Ekiti State, and I must say I give it to him as a sitting governor that if you believe he has done a lot, he has done a lot. You know, these issues are very, very peculiar to the individual who is assessing them. And the global best practice compliance standard. That is number one. Number two, again, in all honesty, to what extent can it be said that these achievements are not exaggerated? And I'll give specific example.
Okay.
For instance, His Excellency just said now in the interview that his administration has done a lot in terms of, construction and rehabilitation of roads in Ekiti. He also specifically mentioned that the government has done 754 kilometers of road. Currently, I'll tell you, I was shocked to hear that. Just as I know a lot of Ekiti indigenes will be shocked. I live in Ekiti.
Yeah.
What government has told everybody in the last 2 years is that the government has constructed 5 kilometers of road in each local government.
Yeah.
We have local governments in Ekiti State. So if you consider government has done 5 kilometers of road in the local government, 5 kilometers times 16 local government,
Yeah.
that will give you 80 kilometers of road. In any case, even if government has embarked on phase 2, let's even assume, let's assume without conceding that they have also completed phase 2 that is started this year. That would be another 80 kilometers. That would be a total of 160 kilometers, of road. So for His Excellency, to be telling the world that 754 kilometers of road, have been constructed in Ekiti, that is shocking. Secondly, I also listened to His Excellency describe the situation in Ekiti as something that was likable to the situation of Freetown. He was saying if you visited, the situation he inherited in Ekiti was like visiting Freetown, after the war. Comparing it to some other war-ravaged country, the post-war situation, and now comparing that to how far he has taken Ekiti between October 16, 2010 to this time. I say with every sense of responsibility and with due respect to His Excellency Governor Fayemi, that's like insulting, the people of Ekiti State. And that's like saying all the governments that came before him, did nothing. I say for the record today, Kayode, there is no single road, networking that has been done in Ekiti by this administration that was commended by Governor Fayemi, and the records are there.
Okay.
Most of the roads that he completed were actually roads, construction commenced either by His Excellency Governor Shegun or His Excellency former Governor Fayose, or His Excellency former Governor Niyi Adebayo.
Now, but
I am not saying that the administration of Governor Fayemi, has not done anything. Of course, I will not say that. What I say everywhere, even on my campaign rostrum, is that the administration of His Excellency Governor Fayemi has done his best, has tried his best. Believe me, the best that any man can give is his best. Based on the extent of your understanding, based on the extent of your experience, based on the extent of your own exposure, the best that you can give is your best.
Okay.
I am in this race.
I'm going to have to, sorry, I'm going to...
I have not done anything, but I'm in this race because I'm convinced that I can do much better than their best.
Okay, I'm going to have to interrupt you. I'm going to have to interrupt you now. Now, I want to ask you, at what point, because yourself and the governor were in the same party, there's something confusing about Ekiti politics. Governor Fayose backed the governor, you backed the governor, Governor Oni, whom Governor Fayemi deposed, is now on the governor's camp. What is this thing with Ekiti politics? At what point did you discover that the current governor was not performing to your expectation?
Well, thank you, Kayode. Let me clarify also very quickly. There is nothing personal about all these issues. And in politics, it is said that there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. And that's the scenario you have just captured very vividly. For me, the slogan is Ekiti first. It's not about personal relationship. When, like you said, I supported Governor Fayemi to be governor, like some other, Ekiti people did, some other Nigerians did, it wasn't just about personal relationship. our friends, our relatives, our associates from around the world who supported us, because we agreed to certain ideals that we were going to offer collective leadership to Ekiti. We were going to offer unusual leadership to Ekiti, and that we will be at our best in creating a new and united.
Okay. Let me because I want to. I want to make this program as fair as possible. Let's hear Governor Fayemi's side. We're going to show another segment of the interview, and then we'll have you say one or two things. Just hear this out, and we want our viewers to follow this debate.
Okay.
That he wanted to run. So he was running a newspaper while not running in accordance with the processes laid out in the constitution of the party.
So as we speak, there are no official documents indicating that he was interested in running.
He has never formally, anywhere, written or notified the party that he wanted to run. As a matter of fact, the only thing he has done consistently is to say the party has no right to endorse anyone. And I've always said to people that apart from being a Democrat, I'm also a stickler for processes. Endorsement is not primaries. Anybody can endorse anyone in the world. And the fact that the big wigs, so to speak, according to him, the leading light in the party, have endorsed him, so it's going to be against him. I also cite history for him. I said, anyone who knows the history of the parties that are left of center would recall that Chief Obafemi Awolowo was very fond of Chief J.S. Olaoye. He openly stated that Chief Olaoye was his choice. Despite his endorsement of Chief Olaoye in Kwara State, 1983, a primary was held thrice. Cornelius Adebayo defeated Chief Olaoye thrice and became the candidate of the party, in spite of Chief Awolowo's endorsement of Chief Olaoye. Here, in the old Ondo State, of which Ekiti was a part, the darling of Chief Awolowo, that most people knew, you could argue that Chief Omobere was almost like Opeyemi Bamidele was to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But when it came to the primaries, he lost the primary against the incumbent Chief Ajashi and left the party. Of course, Chief Awolowo washed his hands off him, in spite of his very close relationship with Chief Awolowo. So I think it's just a very adept way of propagandizing. No anyway, and I challenge Opeyemi Bamidele to say where he has applied to run.
But what about these allegations of intolerance on your part? And his supporters, one of his supporters was killed, and you just kept mute. There were no statement, at least at the beginning, from you. I think I even wrote an article asking why someone known as a human rights campaigner in government would not immediately wade into this.
You wrote a misguided article, which I read, and I felt, well, based on information available to you, you wrote and you said that didn't happen. What you didn't know at the time you were saying that was at the very minute I heard what transpired, I contacted not just the community but the family. And the community, led by the KBS, even went to the family. But people were playing politics with that, blocking the family from receiving the governor.
So you do not sanction any violence against your opponent?
Anyone who knows me and who knows my track record, even when I was an underdog, I had no truck with violence. And And the evidence remains overwhelming that there is something that I'm sure you know in politics which would parade itself as an underdog, but actually trigger violence.
You're in a very unique... Governor Fayemi there, and he made quite a number of quite a spirited defense about allegations going around. And I still have Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele on the line. Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele, before you react to the interview, I need to ask you this question. You left the APC because of its anti-democratic practices, and the governor did mention that. You never did run for, you didn't say you were going to run for election. The question being asked is, you now emerged in the Labour Party just few months after joining the party. Is that not a contradiction? Put that question in mind, join with your reaction to the governor's defense of the published, the serious allegation of targeted assassination against opponents.
Well, Kade, I want to thank you again, and let me also say in all sincerity that my participating in this interview session actually is not particularly aimed at trying to reply Governor Fayemi.
Okay. Hello, do we still have you there? I think we've lost Barrister Bamidele Opeyemi there. We're gonna try. If you're there, we want you to please get back to us. We want this program to go on, but pending when we get back to Barrister Bamidele Opeyemi, I want to read what's going on Twitter. I've got this tweet which says, I'd want to say this debate is interesting. I think we have... Hello, do we have you back then?
Hello, can you hear me?
We're still trying to connect. We're just going to take a short break. We'll continue with the clip just to try to make sure we get Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele back online. And then we'll take it from there. If Tony can continue to roll the tape so that we get him back online so that we have a fair and balanced program. We're not sure, Tony, we're not sure if we have... Yeah, I think we have him back online. Sorry for the technical issue. You know, we're trying to link London with Nigeria. So you were saying you're not here to...
understand.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the technical problem. It's the Nigerian issue, but particularly what are people are still going through. And unfortunately, people are still going through a lot of these things. Only our governor and principal functionaries of the administration will want the world to believe that Ekiti has become a new London. But that's okay. We'll live with it, and we're all working hard to get to a better situation. Well, Claude, I'm hoping that you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly, and our viewers can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay. Please, my participating in interview, as I was trying to say earlier, is not aimed primarily at trying to reply Governor Fayemi. No, the issues are much more fundamental than that. I am participating because I see this as a forum through which we can be able to also encourage our people to get to show more interest in what's going on in Ekiti.
Absolutely.
And also clarify issues that are expecting. Because Governor Fayemi, with due respect to him, has said a lot of things that are not true. And for instance, he said I never indicated, that I was interested in the APC primaries. I did not leave APC, Labour Party. I was never a member of the APC. We were together in the National Congress of Nigeria. And it's on record that Governor Fayemi himself used members of the caretaker committee that he imposed on all our local government, because this is a government that has been in office for 3.5 years that has refused to organize local government elections. And they want the world to believe they are Democrats. okay, you have extended all the 16 local governments to a mere extension. You have turned them to a mere extension of the governor's office. And in 3.5 years, without a local government election, you have local government caretaker committee put in place by the chair and by the governor, who renews their appointment every 6 months. And what they did was to use those local government chairmen to spend taxpayers' money to organize the nature of the local government, endorsing Governor Fayemi as the candidate of Action Congress of Nigeria. So when he was talking about big weeks of the party, the Listen Like Party endorsing him, I don't know what he meant by that. And you see, what he said in his interview is consistent. You know, that is the pattern in Ekiti. You heard him trying to liken me, you know, to Chief Omobori. Of course, the Chief Omobori was an Ekiti man. If Governor Fayemi is trying to liken me to Chief Omobori, so who is the Awolowo here? Is it Governor Fayemi? They will tell you because I insisted that I wanted internal democracy. They will say, my other name is Chief Akintola. So who is the Chief Awolowo? Dr. Kayode Fayemi? In any case, it was a simple and straightforward matter. I insisted on internal democracy. And I don't think that was too much on my part to say, wait a minute, you cannot give anybody an automatic second term. This is a governor that we all supported to be governor. Less than 6 months after we got there, it became obvious that, it was going to abandon what we called our collective rescue mission. Kayode, all you are getting from Ekiti today is sheer media hype. I can assure you, most of the things that they are talking about are not happening. Now, they have talked about 5,000 naira being paid. He once described that as the most important policy of his administration. So, as a social policy, they are paying 5,000 naira to elderly people. One, what is the percentage of elderly people who are receiving this? Less than 1%. I am telling you, it once told the world that 25,000 people are on the payroll, elderly people. How many elderly people do we have in Ekiti? What percentage of that? That's even fine. I even thank them for doing that. But these elderly people that you are giving 5,000 naira a month, how many of their children have been offered employment? How many people, let this administration tell us about job creation. How many people? We have over 420,000 youths roaming the streets of Ekiti, unemployed. Kayode, it is a scary situation.
Okay. Now,
it is very dangerous to the future of this state.
Okay, now
the Excellency was telling the world about food bank, that they are serving food to poor people. That gives you an idea. Okay, 3 square meal. How many times do they serve this food a day? How many days a week do they serve? What is the percentage of people that they serve this food?
Okay.
Let them show us up to 100,000 people, up to 10,000 people who are benefited.
Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question.
His Excellency told us in his interview about Ekiti being the first state to domesticate freedom of information law.
Yeah.
You know, and how much information is available to Ekiti people? How much did this administration borrow? How much has been paid back? We are wallowing under the weight. We are groaning under the weight of debt. Nowadays, His Excellency admitted that over 400 million naira is going into debt services in this state a month. This is a state that receives barely 3 billion naira from the federation account. So what is the capacity of this state to pay? It is the capacity of the state to pay that should determine how much more money this government should borrow.
All right.
25 billion naira that was borrowed nowadays, what was done with the money?
Okay, now I'm going to...
Who executed this job?
Okay, because...
Our own artisans benefit from
I would have to interrupt you.
What was the priority project? You are borrowing money to build a new government house for a governor in a state where you have over 400,000 unemployed youth roaming the street, becoming hopeless, becoming angry by the day, and you are telling me that's an achievement?
Okay, now let me move the conversation forward now. Now, the election is coming up on the 21st of June. At the end of that election, Ekiti has been known in the past with violence accompanying most of the elections. What are you doing in terms of reaching out to either Governor Fayemi or former Governor Fayose and the electorate to make sure that we have a peaceful election on the 21st of June? What efforts are being made by the political parties in Ekiti?
Well, I appreciate that. The leaders of my party, the Labour Party, to the chairman of Ekiti State Council of Obas, the Council of Traditional Rulers, and that's Kabiyesi Dionitaji of Itaji Ekiti. I went to him about 5 weeks ago to go and make a passionate appeal on him and members of the Council of Traditional Rulers to call a meeting of all the candidates and the leaders of the political parties in Ekiti.
Yeah.
To talk to all of us on the need for peace in Ekiti. To talk to all of us on the need for us to run our campaigns in a peaceful manner and to avoid anything that could lead to a breakdown of law and order. In other words, to encourage every one of us to eschew violence.
Yeah.
And I believe I achieved that because eventually that meeting was called.
Yeah.
But what I cannot tell you for real is whether that meeting achieved anything.
Okay.
Because, Kayode, even after that meeting, there had been several, attacks on my convoy, on members of our party at our rally. The last one was on Saturday. We held the mega rally in Ikere Ekiti. Even journalists who were there were not spared.
Yeah.
AIT crew, a 21-member crew of African Independent Television that provided the live coverage of the event as they were packing their equipment. They were attacked by dogs who came in ABC branded, bus. The police have confirmed that the bus was arrested. Some of the people were arrested. They are still, with the police. And the bus is still parked at the police command headquarters in Ado Ekiti.
Okay, because
so my point is this. My point is, His Excellency Governor Fayemi and the principal functionaries of his government, who believe it is an affront for anybody to aspire against a sitting governor, are the ones that constitute the biggest threat to a peaceful conduct of the election on the 21st of June 2014.
Okay, now, Barrister.
Today, I have lost 90 billboards, destroyed by members of APC.
Okay.
As we speak today, Governor Fayemi is the only candidate who has his posters safely on the wall in Ekiti. He's the only one who has his billboards on the street of Ekiti.
Okay.
The rest of all,
because these are because we don't have
to the Senate agency and we have our receipt.
Okay, Barrister Bamidele, because we don't have enough time on the program, and we really also want to speak to an electoral monitor from Abuja. We first want to thank you for taking part in the program, and I should say the fact that yourself and Governor Fayemi are actually making yourself available shows the kind of background you come from. What are your final words?
Well, my final word, first to Governor Fayemi, my dear brother, is for him to appreciate the fact that it is God who makes kings and princes. It is God who will determine who will be the next governor of the state. If he's convinced that he has achieved all these achievements that he claims, then he should be at peace. Second time in office is supposed to be like a thank you package on the part of the electorate. He should not think that it's a do or die affair. There must be an end to this ongoing tyranny of incumbency because it is killing our polity. And to the people of Ekiti State, I want to say that, definitely our past was only a story told. Our future can still be written in gold. Definitely, I understand their pain, and I know they are groaning. And I want to assure them that by the grace of God, help is on the way.
Okay, thanks. We're going to thank you very much. We're going to have the phone lines open, pending when we get the guy from Abuja, Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele. We want to thank you for taking part in the program.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Bye. Now, viewers.
For your interest in all.
Thanks.
And I thank all the viewers for their interest in it.
Thanks. Viewers, that was Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele from Ekiti State. He's a candidate of the Labour Party. He's taking part in the forthcoming election, June 21st. We pray for Ekiti. Whatever side of the divide, Labour Party, PDP, APC, we are one people. And we just pray that after the election, whoever emerges the victorious will be the governor of all of Ekiti State. And it's actually quite interesting to know that, you know, these different sides of the divide were actually together once at various times in the politics of that state. It also testifies to the quality of politics in southwest Nigeria, that people can disagree and they would always find a common ground. And I think that common ground is that they all make sure that we have a peaceful election in Ekiti. If you want to call in, we encourage you to call in. The studio lines are now open because we just don't want it to be about the participant in the election. We also want it to make it be about you. We try as much as possible, no matter whom we support, to give fairness and balance. Let us make it clear that we did invite Governor Fayemi. We were in conversation with his campaign team for almost a week, and then just today they pulled out saying they made a strategic decision not to be on the same platform with either Governor Fayemi or Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele. And I know that a number of organizations have been trying to arrange deep TV debates in Nigeria, and Fayemi of the PDP will not be part of that. And that question, I just feel it is important that our people must have an avenue apart from the big rallies for intellectual debate. I say, John, you're a very lucky caller. Good evening, John.
Hello?
Hello, John. You're welcome to Politics with KO. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Hello, John. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling all the way from Croydon.
All right. We're happy to have you here.
Yes. My contribution is just this. Is it regarding the election in Ekiti?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I wish all Ekiti well in the election period. All I know, either Labour or the APC.
Yeah.
At least I still support it. I support any of them, but I don't want PDP. That's just my own.
Okay, you don't. Why don't you want PDP?
To be honest with you, the question I will ask a lot of people is this: have they been a PDP? Has been in power in any southwest?
Yeah.
Do you think there will be peace in southwest?
Okay.
In that particular state where PDP is owned?
Okay, that's John. Thanks, John, for your contribution. Let's have another person call in. John does not want PDP in power. He doesn't. He's not bothered whether it's Fayemi or Bamidele. So long as it's not PDP, then he's happy. So, well, that's John's opinion. We probably think people in Ekiti should have a voice. They should decide the way forward. On Twitter, we're having this conversation on Twitter. Quite a number of people are quite happy with the fact that Governor Fayemi and Barrister Opeyemi Bamidele are taking part in this program. Quite a number of people are saying we're happy, this is happening. Ogbeni Dikpo is saying PDP has no hope in Ekiti State with Fayose, but Opeyemi Bamidele is a future viable candidate. We have somebody else saying, Olanrewaju Abimbola, Atlanri Abimbola is saying, Fayose Ekiti sure deserves better. Is it a governor's election or is it a governor's election or elections for tout? We've got someone else on the line. We've got Uyi. Good evening, Uyi.
Hello.
Hello, Uyi. Good evening. Where are you calling from, please?
Thank you. Dr. Uyi is my name, and I'm calling from Camberwell.
All right, go ahead, please. Make your contribution, please.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it is funny that we are talking about violence and kind of. If you want to rule or you want to lead a set of people, they should be the one that to appreciate you to lead them. Or however, you can't load yourself on people. You cannot make it life and death with threat and kind of.
Yeah.
All of them that are contesting have been to England. They've seen that even when you are doing election here, there are only women in in the polling booth.
Yeah.
There's something like a stationary armored car or kind of people armed to the teeth and all kinds of primitive prevention. So I think we should learn beyond this greedy kind of life of say if I win, I have to take the whole money and everybody should be a servant under me, kind of. Yeah. That's what's creating this problem.
Okay,
you're trying to stop the people. If the people want you, you don't let yourself over them, you leave them.
Okay, thanks
to make their choice.
Thanks for that, because you're talking about peace in Ekiti, and you want people to make sure they have a peaceful election. Let's have another caller. We just want to try and get as many calls in as we can before we go. We also agree that there should be peace in Ekiti and that the election should go smoothly, and it's for the people of Ekiti to decide. I've got another caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from London.
All right, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Barrister Opeyemi made a very valid point.
Okay.
And that's the debt that's been incurred.
Okay.
And when you think of the...
Hello, I think we lost Ojo there, but Ojo was making a point saying that Barrister Opeyemi made a point about the debt that is being incurred in Ekiti. And I must say this is a worrying situation all over Nigeria, the way we pile up debt for developmental purposes. I'm thinking, why can't we just get another way? We've got Dominic on the line. Hello, good evening, Dominic.
Hello.
Good evening. Go ahead, Dominic. We've got very few minutes. Go ahead, please.
I just want to say people should take it easy, because Ekiti people are very good people. They are lovely people. They shouldn't go there and destabilize all the things that has been put in place. Let them go to the election poll and do it in a gentle form, because Ekiti people are not troublesome people. Because I used to associate with people from Ekiti. However, I'm from Edo State. I know they are lovely people. They should not go there with bows and arrows and begin to fight each other.
Okay, thanks.
Do it in a peaceful manner.
On that positive note, we're going to thank you for that call. Viewers, the phone lines have been buzzing, but we just had to make sure that those two participants get their day. We thank you for taking part in this program. It's Politics with KO. Whichever way, whatever way, we will try our best to give you the best. Good night and God bless you. Thanks to Ngozi, Gail, and Tony for everything they've done. But before we go, maybe we can squeeze in another phone call. If I can just appeal to my producer, because I don't want this to be without the people. If we can just get one more phone call in, that will just make it a day for our people, because it's important that this is going to be the first real election in 2014. But sad enough, we're not going to have that phone call. I did try on your behalf. Thanks for your loyalty. We say a big thank you to Ben TV for this platform and for every wonderful people behind this program, Tony and Ngozi and Victor and every other person that has been supporting us. It's good night. God bless you. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. This is Ben Television. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debates by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi.
Celebrating Nigeria's 100th centenary, one-of-a-kind designer shoes, bold and
There can be many challenges in sending money abroad. From getting to an agent and completing paperwork, to poor exchange rates with high transaction fees. At NetMoney, our unique Visa card-to-card money transfer account makes it cheaper, easier and safer than ever before to send money anywhere, worldwide, anytime. For a fixed low fee of £2 and the best exchange rates available, you can send money instantly